Hey everyone, welcome back to Isyour6covered, and today we are talking about how to be a great probationary firefighter. Let me get all this going here so it doesn't talk and all that, and then we'll get right to it. Where's we got it going? It says it's still showing up. There we go. Mute that so it doesn't turn into a pain in the butt. Get rid of this. And we'll get started here. All right, so if you're not familiar with what I'm doing, I'm basically setting people up, hopefully for success on getting maybe the career, the job they want in the fire service. So let me finish doing this and we'll get started. So probationary firefighter, basically, depending on the organization that you work for, you will be somehow on probation for a certain amount of time. Some departments are maybe 6 months, 12 months is a norm, 18 months is even more normal, at least for what I'm familiar with. That's what we have. And maybe even out there is 2 years. 2 years, you say? Yeah, 2 years is a long time for probation. A year and a half is a long time for probation, but it gives the firefighter that's on probation also more time to understand the department, understand the gear and equipment that's on each piece of apparatus, to understand the organization of how it works, maybe more time to learn all the streets, the stations, and all that kind of stuff, depending on how large of a department that you're looking at being a probationary firefighter at. So there's 3 people out there. If you guys want, comment in so far. We just turned it on. If you get a chance, go over and see Jammy Time. I'm trying to get these out of the way so that this will help people as far as in the career of firefighting. Usually I go say hi to those guys every so often, and today I'm going to be doing this real quick, probably another hour. I'm trying to keep them at an hour long so that they're semi-doable if you're interested in the information, but not overwhelming, 2-3 hours long, because that's just too long. Now, I did say in the past, I believe it was video 2 on how to get a job in the fire service. There is a lot of stuff that is involved with the probationary firefighter. You got to think a lot of times already been implemented to that person that wants to go out and do this, right? So they maybe went and got it. They already got their academy per se. They already went out and did a lot of training, so on and so forth. They may have done some type of written, oral, and maybe even psych testing, as long as with that, also physical endurance testing as well to get the job. So we're kind of at the point now, I'm trying to keep them in order per se, as far as the individual has made it and now he's on probation. So he went through the test, he went through the oral, he went to the chief's oral, and now he's on the floor. He's basically been handed his bunker gear and all his equipment, and now it's time to show and shine in order to be a good probationary firefighter. So a lot of things can happen. You can sink or swim, my friends. If you have the ability, always get as much information as you can. This could be a way of getting information. Maybe you're out there just on probation, or maybe just got through probation. And if you have, put your comments down below so other people can learn from that as well. Maybe there's something that I'm not going to bring up because there's just so much. I mean, 1 hour is a long time to talk, but during the probationary period, there's so much to hit as well. So I'm going to use a few examples that I went out and did. I think it'll be faster and easier to maybe more successful of going through the topics that you should learn. You can see these online. I found this online, seen them for years. They're great. There was one I was really looking forward to. It's kind of sarcastic-y but fun, but really truthful, and I can't find that one for some reason. That one's a really good one. We actually have one of those at the fire station. It's kind of fun. Let me see if I can sneak over here and grab it, and then we'll talk about it. So the first one is basically fireengineering.com. If you guys get a chance, go to fireengineering.com, and they have tons of information. You're going to want to know all about this place. And this thing, it's a magazine as well that you can subscribe to. And let me see if I can find this. Let's see if I can get to it. I might have to go a different way. Let's see. Be right back. All right, so let me see if I can find it. There we go. So it's this way. Let's see if it'll open this way. All right. So they got 25 things, and I don't want to. I'm giving kudos to fireengineering.com. This was theirs. I'm just trying to help you guys out as far as finding information, different ways to do it, and also just kind of talking about some of the topics that they're talking about. And there's a whole bunch of stuff, and this is written by Frank Viscoso. I don't know if that's right, and then Michael Turpak. So if you get a chance, check it out. But the first one is respect the job. And basically what they're saying is firefighting is one of the most respected professions in our country. For every person who wears a firefighter uniform, there's at least 10 more who wish they could. And I kind of brought that up in my last episode too. So as much of an honor as it is to become a firefighter, it is equally as much a dishonor to become complacent. So for those who don't care about the job, are disrespectful to both the profession and their coworkers. Respect the job, work hard, and be proud of the profession as you're chosen. And that's the first one there. It's basically it's definitely good to know. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people. You're the new person at the department. There's going to be people that have been around for a long time. They know a lot more than you do, even as much as you think you may know. You just basically learned enough through the academy to go get yourself killed for the most part. And I don't disrespect any academy or anything, but there's a lot to know past the academy, obviously. Arrive early. You know, when you think you're early, you're on time. So make sure you show up real early, at least 30 minutes ahead of time, and give the guys time. There's a lot of stuff, pass downs, and we'll get into it in here. But it says basically arrive 30 minutes early, work before your shift begins. And it gives you the opportunity to prepare and familiarize yourself with the apparatus to which you are assigned. This is a habit you will want to keep for the duration of your career. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're on probation. You know, I show up the night before usually because I fly in from an airplane, so I'm basically 12 hours early for my duty shift. So show up early, you know, give that guy, hey, you want to take some time off? I'll jump on the rig and work, or whatever the case is. Be social. Introduce yourself to everyone you meet. Hey, hello, my name is firefighter so-and-so, you know, and if you're going to talk to someone with some brass, as they say, on their caller, make sure you understand what the position is, you know, whether it's engineer, firefighter, chief, you know, assistant chief, whatever it is. Just make sure you understand who you're talking to. So, you know, you can say, hello, Captain. I'm, you know, Rick, firefighter Rick. I'll just say my first name, so on and so forth. Get in there and meet people. Don't be the shy person that doesn't want to, you know, basically hide, do their work kind of stuff. You got to get involved. These are going to be your family members that you're going to be working with. What else? These men and women with whom and for whom you will be putting your life on the line. If you're meeting an officer, address them with their rank. A simple hello, Captain, before you introduce yourself would suffice. So yeah, they're right on the money on that. Find a senior firefighter. That's huge. The senior firefighter is basically a firefighter that's been around a long time, whether it's a couple years, 10 years, 20 years. A lot of people feel that their position as a firefighter is what they want to do. They don't want to turn knobs, pull, you know, pump hoses basically, or drive, or become a fire captain. And I know there's different ranks out there, you know, especially on the East Coast with lieutenant and all that stuff. But for the most part, I'm just going to talk about the firefighter. There's a paramedic firefighter. There's an engineer, which is the driver that pumps the engine as well. And then you have a captain. So where are we at? Be proactive. Yeah, so find the firefighter. They say The good senior firefighter on your shift station will be the greatest asset. Ask him or her all of those questions you have regarding your first day. Questions like, what housework should I do? So on. So it makes sense. Where's my bed? Where's my locker? That kind of stuff. Don't go bugging the captain or the engineer with simple stuff that the firefighter's going to know. You don't ask the captain where the mops are, because the senior firefighter should know where the mops are. Be proactive around the firehouse. Don't wait for someone to ask for you to do something. You're already behind the power curve when it comes to that. Basically, when you're on probation, you are busting your ass 24/7, 7 days a week. And I don't want to keep talking because I don't want to get into what they have and kind of skip over it and do it twice. So I'll keep going on the list, and then we'll talk about it. Be the first to rise and the last to sleep. Get up earlier than anybody else. Go put the flags up, make a cup of coffee, grab the newspaper, put it on the, wherever the captain sits, maybe on the kitchen. Whatever the case is, figure out the routine, but don't be the guy that sleeps in, doesn't wake up early, and always be the last guy to go to bed. And I've had some probationary guys, and I'm like, you're never going to go to bed before me. I'm a night owl. I stay up late. Go ahead and go to bed. I'll usually tell them, and they're kind of looking at me strange, but it's like, you're not going to beat me to sleep. I'm going to be awake for a long time, and you need to get your rest because you got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow. And then finally you can see them. But yeah, if you don't have a captain that's like that, or a chief that's in the station, definitely be the last one to stay awake. You got plenty to do, right? You are studying. Topic A, topic B, topic C. You're getting ready for your quarterly. You got testing. You need to know as much as you can about it. I don't know all departments, but we have them teach classes. So you want to be up on your stuff, because when you go to teach a class to a bunch of people that have already heard this thing 1,000 times, try to find that little niche of something that they maybe not have heard of. And that's really going to be like, wow, he really studied. He really, or she really studied, So that'll definitely help. Be the first to rise and shine. Okay. Find a mentor. Basically, we talked about this a tiny bit. I kind of waited till today, but and if there's anybody out there, I'm on a sheet right now, so I can't see you guys. But I will try to. I'll comment here after I hit 25, and then I'll say hi to everybody. So find a mentor, whether it's a senior firefighter, maybe it's a guy that just got off probation. He or she may have all the information that you want about around the station. They may even have cards, like study cards that you can use. Maybe make your own, of course. Have your stuff, but really get in there with knit that group together, or try to get in that knit group, and really try to figure out, if you find the mentor that can help you, they can help you study for testing. Maybe you got testing the next shift. Hey, do you mind if we go out and throw some ladders some more? I don't feel comfortable with the 35 or the 24 or whatever the case is. So that mentor is going to definitely help you out. Know your writing position and responsibility. Depending on the organization that you work for, depending on the seat that you may sit in, you may grab certain items on a structure fire, or a high-rise fire, or a vehicle fire, or whatever the case is. You need to know that position, or that seat, as they say. If it's a high-rise fire and I'm sitting in this seat, I need to grab the irons, an extinguisher, which you call a can. Sorry, I'm still fighting that cold. And so on. So I should be able to figure that out from that. Let's see. Check your equipment. I'll read what they put. This rule cannot be overstated. Check your personal protective equipment and SCBA. Check nozzles, saws, tools. Starting on the day one. Prepare yourself by checking to see where everything is located, so that when the officer asks for a specific tool, you won't be foolishly running around the apparatus looking for it. Preparing to fall. Now, let's say you just got assigned to station 1, right? We'll call it station 1. You're on probation. You don't show up till Wednesday's your shift day. I would show up Monday or Tuesday and get as much information about the rig as possible, because you're going to have to learn so much the day you actually show up. you know, where your bunk is, your locker, where all the cleaning supplies are, and all that stuff. If you can just say hi to the people on the shift, say, hey, I'm the new Proby. Proby is basically the word for probationary firefighter. I just kind of wanted to show up early. If you don't mind, I want to go run around the rig real quick and just kind of get just a highlighted idea of where equipment is. So that if at 8:01 and you show up and you grab your gear and poof, you're out the door, you didn't have time to even open the compartment doors, you know, that's not the time to be figuring out where the stuff is. Check the saw. The saw, people put the saw on backwards. I'm not saying it happens a lot, but after a training exercise, maybe the guy's retired, maybe they had a structure fire, did some ventilation, and they put a saw on, but it's 3 o'clock in the morning. At 3 o'clock in the morning after you had your ass busted, you know, that saw may be backwards and you didn't even notice. So check the saw to make sure it's going the right way. The chain, I should say. Let's see here. All your gear. But, you know what I'm getting at. All right, so they got check your equipment. We did that already. Wear your safety gear. The department gave you all that shit because there's a reason for it. They want you to wear this stuff. If they didn't want you to wear a helmet, they wouldn't have issued you a helmet. So make sure you wear all your stuff, whether it's a flash hood, gloves. People forget gloves. People, you know, they fall. Try to find an extra pair of gloves that you can keep on the rig or somewhere. So if you're going, maybe the other call, they got all wet or whatever the case is, you can at least have a pair of gloves. Maybe you lost one, maybe one fell. At least you can capture another one and have your gear in case you go to the second fire right after the first fire. So basically, wear your safety gear. They gave it to you. Make sure it fits. Make sure it doesn't have holes in it. Make sure it hasn't expired. Safety gear expires if you don't know that. And I'm not going to sit here and talk all about safety gear, but there's a lot of rules with it. So make sure your stuff fits properly. Make sure your full mobility. You know, make sure everything's good. Ask questions. They have that as 11. Ask, it says. When you have a question, ask it. If you're not asking questions, it's basically showing that you think you either know everything or you're there and you really don't care to learn anything. And I'm not sitting there ask 100 questions like a little kid does, why, all day long. But ask questions that pertain to the job. It's not going to make you look foolish. It's not going to get you in trouble. Your job is to learn on your probation. You know, if you knew everything, you wouldn't be in probation. You would be already on the rig and done. You know, and I'm still saying that no one knows everything. Never will. Talk to the off-duty crews. That's basically what we call a pass down. That's why you show up early to the incident. Make sure you're find out, hey, you know what, the O2's, you know, it's kind of low. Probably got one more call. You know, or if you don't have a cascade system where you can fill it up, maybe. You know, the SCBAs are at this, check this and that, and just really get an idea. If you're a medic, make sure you check the drug box. That's huge, important. It needs to be checked out before you guys run a call. So when you show up to a call and there's no morphine or something, you're like, oh crap, you know. So that's a narcotic. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. The DEA is going to have to be notified if they can't figure out where it went, and you know, so there's a lot of stuff that goes on. But now it's basically up to you because you didn't have a chance to check out your gear or your equipment. Let's see. So basically they have, don't let your counterpart leave without giving you a report. Ask questions that will affect your readiness on what happened on their shift. Example, has any equipment been moved, replaced, or sent out for repair? If you're running a fan, all of a sudden, maybe you got some fans that you normally use, but they're broke, you don't know it, and now all of a sudden you need to start a fan. It's in a different location because it's too big, so they kind of just rigged it under the unit to make it work. All of a sudden you open the door, there's an empty hole there where your fan would normally be. So really get a chance to check out your equipment. Definitely talk to the people going off duty. There may be, you know what, we keep running on this one lady. She has a COPD and so on, and she lives at 123 Main Street, say. You know, that kind of stuff. Like, oh yeah, we've been on Sally before. You know, just get some communication. And maybe she's not doing good. The last time we went on her, just kind of get a heads up, maybe. Lead by example. Yes, even a rookie can display the qualities of a leader If you do your job well every time, that's the first step. On the fire ground, there is something we call layered leadership. When an assignment is given, the person receiving the assignment is expected to complete the task. If you tackle assignments with professionalism and what it takes attitude, others, even veteran firefighters, will be impressed and also motivated by what you're doing. Don't try to force acceptance. Not to say that the other guys are going to be jerks or anything like that, but you're going to be like, hey, what's up, bro? No, it doesn't work. They'll tell you basically when you become one of them. You'll feel it, Don't try to get accepted into the group too fast. These guys may have worked together for the last 15 years, and now they got some jackass probationary guy that they're thinking about. I'm just giving you a hard time. That they're like, oh man, we got the Proby. It's like, oh, that means captain's going to make us do a bunch more training, so they may be a little sour at the fact that they're getting a Proby. So you're going to have to earn their respect, and just kind of work at it slowly to figure out, get yourself to be friend, not foe. So we have, let's see here. Leave your ego at the door. Don't think, been there, done that. In this profession, celebrations are short-lived. You and your crew are only as good as the next call. Don't be overconfident or cocky because you had a fire on your first day. Sure, the experience will help you, but basically, they've already done it. They've already been there, and it's just a matter of do a good job each time you're on scene. Keep your eyes open. Look for safety issues. Respect your elders, right? That's kind of doesn't matter what department it is, doesn't matter what job it is. You always used to hear, not so much anymore because the way the things are, but we have a lot of tradition in the fire service. And respect your elders. An intensive amount of experience and information is held in the minds of senior members of most departments. To them, you're the kid who just got out of the fire academy. Some of them may remind you of that from time to time. If so, consider that you may be showing them signs of disrespect. It's okay to share your opinion, but don't forget that these men and women paid their dues and have experience that exceeds yours. And that's true. I mean, that's pretty much hits it. Not much more you can say about that. Stay physically fit. I'm just going to give that to stay physically fit. The job is demanding. Stay mentally fit. The most important tool is the one underneath your helmet, in between your ears. So definitely keep that one up by either reading, studying, whatever the case is. As a probationary firefighter, you should never have your face towards the TV, in my opinion. If the TV's on, go somewhere else. Go to a different room and study. If you're going to eat and people are watching, say the dinner area is here and the TV's over here, make sure you get the back seat so you're not watching TV. Because if you're watching TV, you should be studying. If you feel stressed, tell your officer. You're going to go to a bunch of shit that you're going to see that you may or may not be able to erase out of your mind. And the best way to get through that, well, there's a few ways, but the best way to get through that is to talk with your, maybe your company officer, maybe just your firefighter. Maybe it's something that's not too big. Hey, you know what? Remember that mentor we talked about earlier, or the senior firefighter? Like let's say it's Bill. Hey, Bill, man, that call was pretty gnarly, huh? And Bill's like, oh man, we see that all the time. Like, wow, okay, how do you get through that? You got to be able to ask those questions. Like, what's the best way to kind of get through that? And he'll give you whatever he gives you, But some of it is basically, what would be it wouldn't be the politically correct word, but it's basically make a joke out of it. Try to get your mind into as a group, you're trying to not so much make fun of it, but find something fun about it. So you have the stress relief of maybe laughing with your coworkers, trying to work through it. And some calls will be, they'll haunt you forever. I'm just kind of popping through. I can think of a few right now, but you just have to have the ability and the practice. I mean, you'll get more, what's the word? Callous. You'll get more callous as your years go on. And I don't mean that in a mean way, but you'll be able to deal with it and cope with it a little bit better. There's always going to be the few that pop out of your thing, you know, that always just kind of haunt you a little bit, but you'll be fine. Hopefully. I'm going to make sure I tell you what this one says. So while on duty, you will see and experience traumatic occurrences that exceed what your average person will see on television, whether it's multiple fire alarms, serious injuries, death, etc. In time, you will become partly immune to the most of this, but you will always be affected to some degree. Some people are good at hiding their stress, but this will catch up to you and affect your personal life as well as your professional life. Don't be foolish enough to hesitate to ask for help if you need it. You know, and sometimes not so much too much anymore, but I would come home and I'd be quiet. My wife would be like, "Everything okay?" You know, and I'd be, "Oh yeah, everything's good." And I just kind of tell her, "Oh, you know, this week was kind of a bummer week." And she'd be like, "All right." And she knew not to poke and prod too much, and I would be respectful enough to tell her most of the time that, hey, that, you know, I saw something I didn't want to see, or whatever the case was. So, especially if you have a family life, you know, they're going to notice that stuff. The guys on the crew should notice that too. If everybody's bebopping around after that call, and then there's the one Proby, you know, and he hasn't had a chance to, or she hasn't had a chance to really get calloused up to some of the stuff you see, they're going to notice, you know, and don't hide it per se. You need to talk with people. And number 20, we're almost done with this. Have fun. You may be saying fun. Nothing I've read so far looks like fun, but you will discover that life as a firefighter can be just that. If, of course, you learn how to take a joke. The fact, as many firefighters like to test the sense of humor as probies early on. Let me tell you, there will be a lot of that, and that is what builds camaraderie. That is what builds a brotherly, sisterly, group-oriented, organized, well-oiled crew. It's funny because don't be gullible. You know, these guys, especially when you're on probation, if you don't understand what this tool is, and they're like, "Oh yeah, go grab the hose stretcher," you know, and they're like, "Oh," and I'm walking around. Maybe they're having you drive down to the station 2 or 3 or 10 or whatever and go get the hose stretcher. You know, there's no such thing as that. So understand that. Try to learn that from the people. They're going to pull stuff on you. It's going to be all fun and games, but be able to take a joke. Be able to give jokes as well, but just be very careful while on probation. Make them small and meaningless, but kind of give them the idea like, hey, I can play this game back at them. So hopefully that helps. So we are getting close. Be a team player. Talked about this a lot. Kind of just talked about it as well. Firefighting is the ultimate definition of the word team, and I got to agree with what they typed in here. It is team. It doesn't matter if you put the fire out by yourself, which isn't going to be the case because you have a team, but it's team-oriented. Man, Truck 2 did an awesome job. Engine 4 did freaking great. Well, that's a group of people. That's a team of people. So be part of the team. Be a team player. The fact that many firefighters let's see. Remember, when things go bad, all you have is your team. Crew continuity is built at the fire station, like we talked about earlier. But teamwork is fine-tuned on the training ground and at the fire scene. It also helps to get involved with off-duty, non-firefighting activities as well. With that's true to a point. You got to be careful with that. But especially if they're very possibility of hurting yourself. Say the guys are mountain bikers, skiers, stuff where you could possibly break your bones, elbows, whatever the case is, high energy, high impact kind of sports. You're on probation. Your job is to survive probation. Don't go, you barely have any sick time, you barely have any vacation time, as the months go on, and to break something or to go out and screw off and get hurt is the dumbest thing you could possibly do. Hold off for whatever your probationary time is. If it's 16 months, 18 months, 12 months, 2 years, whatever it is, don't go do that stuff. Don't go. It'd be the dumbest thing you could ever do. You did all that work in order to get in the fire service, and then you were a jackass because you wanted to go skiing with your buddies. All I'm saying is go have fun if you think you're going to be okay, but in the end of the day, you're going to lose a job if you hurt yourself. It's just not worth it. A career. Fire department is a career. It's not, it's not some job that you just plan on hanging out for a year to pay the bills. It's, you spend a lot of time, money, and energy into getting a job. So be smart. Be accountable. If you screw up, and I tell my kids this, you know what? People make mistakes all the time. If you screw up, just tell them you screwed up. Don't lie about it. Don't try to point fingers at somebody. Just fess up to it. Move on. You're on probation. Shit happens. So just say, you know what, man, I really screwed up. I grabbed the wrong piece of equipment or whatever the case was, or it took me too long to figure out where it was on the engine or whatever it is. I'm sorry, and I'll do better, sir or ma'am. Just suck it up and be accountable. Respect the public. You got to remember, you're wearing a uniform that represents the fire department, right? And it's the city's fire department or the state's fire department or whatever it is. You're just, in their mind, you are the person at that time that is the face of the fire department. So let's just say you decide you want to do something stupid. Maybe you go on a medical aid and you just do something really bad. You don't respect somebody. You did something. That's the face of everybody else on the fire department for that organization. They're like, oh, they look at your patch. That's the reason why there's patches. You're like, you're going to make that department look bad. So all the years and all the hard work that those other individuals ahead of you put into making themselves look professional, responding to calls on time, and so on and so forth, is going to be chipped away out a little bit. So definitely respect the public. You are just as good as they are. You are not any better. You just happen to have a job that you'll enjoy and people respect you for because they can believe in you and trust in you. And but don't ever disrespect the public. Okay, moving on. Make safety your priority. If you can't get home from duty each time because you went too far in, you got burnt, you got hurt, you fell off the ladder, whatever the case is, you can't do that. Just think you have 30 years of whatever you're doing right now to do. You have to live the long run, right? So they put down here, no matter where you are or what you're doing, think safety. On the fire ground especially, it is easy to get so caught up in the moment that you forget the basics. Take a moment to think about what you're doing before you do it. In that moment, think, is this the safest way that I can accomplish the task? The job is dangerous enough. Exactly. I mean, the job is dangerous enough, so if you're going to go out there and try to freelance and do stupid shit and no one knows where you are, and all of a sudden you get a roof that collapses in on you and they don't know what's going on or where you're at, so don't do that. Safety is your priority. Pay it forward is the last one. Then we can just have a little bit of fun here. As the years go on, you will move from Proby to experienced firefighter. One day you may be the senior firefighter or company officer. So don't ever forget what it feels like to be the rookie shaking in his boots. And you'll get this from time to time. You'll have not so much. Well, you have senior firefighters and the other firefighters, and they may think, well, I'm that much better, and I'm going to razz this new rookie up and all that kind of stuff. There's a difference between basically being destructive when it comes to the Proby. Don't let them do that to you. Let me see finish what it is. So basically, when you're not the guy on probation anymore, just remember how yours was. If you had a guy that was an ass, some condescending guy or whatever the thing is, don't be that guy. Help that person out. Understand, you'll know all the stuff, the reason why he's shaking in his boots and all that kind of stuff. It's a brand new thing for him. He's got a lot to learn. She's got a lot to learn, so don't do that. So let me get rid of this, and I'll go out and say hi. Let's see here. Where is it? I think I might have to sign up here. Give me 1 second. I see there's 8 viewers, which is pretty good. I don't know why I can't find. Oh, maybe it's over here. Nope. Huh. Where is it? All right. Guess we'll keep moving on because I can't find the damn Google. I need a class on how to do these chats without screwing stuff up. Here, new window. YouTube. Gotta find my comments. All right, my channel. And let's see here. I'm looking for it. Oh, there it is. All right. Now I have a chance to actually read some comments. All right. Look at that. We got Tyler East. Resist the tyranny, guns, gear, and politics. Why the hell does Partisan Gorilla get PG, but I'm Matthew? Let's see. Partisan Gorilla, Tyler East, Gimp Geek, Matt from Resist the Tyranny, and it looks like, oh, Fuzzy to Use out there. And Gerald B. Midwest Misfits. There's the weirdos he put. Stump Greenwood, South Crakalaki. Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, so this it's kind of a boring thing if you're not in the fire service or trying to get in the fire service. Been really wanting to do this for people just to give them a chance to maybe get a little insight before they go off to get a job as a firefighter. So it's definitely something I've been wanting to put on the old bucket list. I'll probably get 5 views, but at least I had a chance and opportunity to help people out. Type it here. I think there, let's see. All right, so with that said, basically probation, there's a lot of stuff going on, right? Learning your area is a huge thing. Now you're in the back, the captain's got the freaking computer nowadays, depending on what department you're working for. You know, he's got the it's all up on basically map, telling them where to go and all that stuff. But I have an understanding of where you're going. You may say, you know what, just learning the city, the town, the streets is going to be huge for you. Because someday you're going to be sent off to go pick something up. Hey, Proby, go grab the utility and go over to Home Depot or whatever the case is. Now, we're lucky enough nowadays to have phones where you could just go Home Depot and it would give you directions. But a lot of new technology is definitely helping out. The olden days where you had to write the call down and then go find it on Thomas Brothers and then figure out where the hell you're at and then figure out how to get to the call is a lot different now, so it makes it a lot easier, which is pretty cool for you guys because the other way was a pain in the ass. That's for sure. But there may be some departments out there that still have to do it that way. So with that said, technology is definitely helpful. Let's see how long I've been yapping for. I'm trying to keep it 38 minutes. Cool. For some reason, I thought we were Marine. Let's see. So Matt has a little experience firefighting training in the Navy, which is cool. My buddy Chris, better known as Gato 64, he was also in the Navy. After he got out of the Navy, he went and worked for the state of California and is now a battalion chief. And he loves it. So that was years later as he progressed through the thing. He didn't just come over from the Navy and become a battalion chief. But yeah, very cool. They got some cool stuff. They're, what are those called? I'm trying to think of the name of those, or the respirators they use in the military. I can't remember. But yeah, a lot of equipment that's cool out there. You guys being on probation, you're going to learn a lot of cool stuff, a lot of new technology, lighter weight. We kind of hit this on part 2. which is cool. But yeah, you guys are lucky that you got in now. Just for the fact is all the new advancements in clothing, as far as fire resistant, lighter weight, more flexible. The different metal materials that we use now is a lot lighter as well. Bottles, spiral wrapped, aluminum, it's composite. So yeah, it's a huge, definitely a turning point than the brave men and women did 30 years ago. They're carrying old steel bottles, brass couplings. They were the firefighters of the firefighters. They tough sons of bitches, which is cool. Hose is getting lighter and thinner, but we are finding better advancements in entering structure fires and whatever the case is with our better gear. So we're getting in there farther, which is possibly is better, but it's also a little less unsafe. And I actually considered becoming a firefighter, but none of the stations in my city were hiring, and I wasn't going to move. And that's the thing too. There's not, there's people that are hiring. It's I call it a once in a lifetime opportunity, but it's really not. It's the hard part is getting in, and you'll hear that a lot. But once you're in, you're on probation, right? That's what this video is about. But do your best damn job that you can. If you get laid off and go, man, I could have done a lot better, then you didn't take it to heart. You didn't do what you're supposed to do. As a probationary firefighter, think of a cadet, a cop, what are they called? Cop cadets or whatever the hell they're called. A brand new person in the boot camp. You're gonna get, you're gonna bust your ass for that amount of time, and maybe the rest of your career if you're a good firefighter, on just being ahead of the game, doing the best you can, showing your crews and your department that you respect them as a individual, and you got their back covered basically, or you got their six covered, right? So there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and it's too hard because there's just too much. But make sure you show up early. Make sure you say you screwed up when you screwed up. Make sure you ask questions, and do not watch TV. If you're watching TV, you're blowing it. Remember, those other firefighters are looking at you like, man, what a dumbass. I never watched TV when I was on probation. This guy thinks he's going to come in here and watch TV. He doesn't have anything better to do. He can't go study. He can't go out to the rigs, pull all the gear off, clean it up, wipe it off, and figure out what's in every compartment, every toolbox in there. That makes no sense. Lots of cities require close residency for the job. That is also true. Now that I'm in North Carolina and live in California. But yeah, there is a lot of departments that require you to be in a certain circle, miles, and I'm not going to say the mileage because they'll all differ. But some of them you just have to be in the same county. Some of them, maybe 10 minutes from the station, maybe not so much. They're all different, so I'm not even going to get into it. Let's see, Gimp Geek said I had a good friend who continually tried to get into the fire academy when in early 20s, but never did get selected. I think it was because he was just too small, about 5'9" and 130, soaking wet. You know what? That's about me. I was 5'8", 5'9"? Yeah, I'm 5'9". I'm kind of shrinking though. I think I'm getting a little older now. 130. So when I started, I was in high school, right out of high school. So I probably I was 5'9" and 130. And it's not muscle. I mean, you got to have muscle. Don't get me wrong. And it definitely helps to be a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. But a lot of it's technique. You can get a tool. I can hand you this tool, right? Let's not pretend it's a pencil. We'll call it whatever. Tool A. And one guy, he may be top of his game with this thing and be able just to work it. And he weighs 150, 130 pounds he put down. But then you can get muscle guy, and he's got so much muscle and no brain. And he's using the tool incorrectly, wrong, doesn't understand the tool, and he's not going to do he's not going to do half of what the other guy did that weighed less. So a lot of it is, well, a lot of it is technique. Think of a ladder. I had one guy when I was a truck captain. I had one guy. His name was David. He was a big, strong kid. He was probably 6 feet tall. Nice, big, strong dude. And we have these. What size was that? It was a 16-foot roof ladder. Was it 16? Yeah, I think it was a 16-foot roof ladder on the truck. And he could not throw this ladder because it's really long. Well, it's 16 feet long. So you have to have a lot of finesse, understand the whole mechanics of it, and throw it up to the building. So he couldn't do it, man. We wouldn't crack up, but I'm like, God, David, you're twice as big as I am. You're taller than I am, and you can't throw this thing. So a lot of it, we kept training, and man, I tell you what, that thing kicked his ass. So a good percentage of it is not so much muscle, it is mechanics, understanding everything, and doing it correctly so you don't get hurt. But some people, if they have that and they're big, man, you can grab a power unit and a freaking AMKIS and you can carry the whole thing like a freaking monster. I mean, you're like, holy shit, that guy just picked that up all by himself. You're like, damn, that's awesome. Where it normally take 2 guys, maybe 3 guys. So with muscle, as long as you have the muscle in between your ears as well, you can really kick ass. Cardio is huge too, definitely huge. Make sure that you as a probationary firefighter is, definitely in shape. The department's going to sit there and kick your butt for the next, let's just say 18 months, depending on what probation is. And throughout your career, you should really try to stay in shape. I think I've kind of failed myself on that. I really need to get back out there and get crack-a-lacking, get in better shape, getting a little belly on me, which isn't bad, but I could definitely be a little more muscular, I don't even know how you'd say that, muscular, and a little better cardio for sure. But I do my fair share. Let's see. So Matt says he learned how to throw ladders and working in construction. What's funny is you can take a ladder, right? Let's just call it a 24-foot extension ladder. Basically, every fire department throughout the nation should have one of these. I'm sure they do. Some come in metal, some come in wood. You got San Francisco, LA, City Fire. They still run wood ladders for certain reasons. But you could go to 10 different departments, and they may throw them 8 different ways. Is any of them wrong? No. Does it get up safely and all that stuff? Yeah. So it doesn't really matter. But learn that shit the way. Remember, these people are coming out of an academy, so you may have learned, ways 1 through 3. But then you got a job working for, Department Z, and they may throw it completely different. Now, when we hire somebody, they already have their academy, and then we do a department orientation. So can a guy join firefighter at 65? Wow. PG, I don't know, buddy. That's getting there. I would assume not. It's going to depend on the thing. You could go volunteer somewhere, probably. Definitely be someone that can assist and help out and that kind of stuff. Maybe. Depends on where you work, where you live, all that kind of stuff. But a motorcycle accident that paralyzed me one week before high school, so I never got to play college ball or go into the military. That sucks, brother. So there is there is some differences. Like Gimp Geek brought up, you may have some handicaps that can definitely make the job a little bit harder. Not so much age, like we talked, he put 65 down there. So that is fairly old in a nice way, trying to be nice. More than likely that person has already gone through a career or something else. So maybe that choice of becoming a firefighter should have happened 40 years ago, earlier. But there is people that have certain smaller handicaps that they work around. I have a friend named Stuart, and he has some problems with his right hand or left hand, I can't remember. but basically, like some of his fingers are kind of gone, where they're just shorter. I think it's his right hand. And but he can do anything that any other firefighter can do. He's worked and studied and practiced so hard to be able to overcome that, you know. So he's able to do that. Some of the things that you may make it so that you can't become a firefighter may be as simple as you can't decipher the differences between colors. Now you got to know what a green light is. I know there's different ways, you know, what in the positioning that they are, but like say the captain says, go turn off the green valve over there, and you're colorblind and you can't turn it off, and all of a sudden you turn off something else and then you have an explosion. You know, you really got to understand your colors, as funny as that may be. But yeah, there's little things like that that may you know, be something that will wash you out. And hopefully that gets washed out before you become a probationary firefighter. But you never know. There's just tons and tons of stuff. But I would say this. You got your probationary firefighter job, and I think I got a few minutes left before I got to 50 minutes. So I got 10 minutes. One of the things that used to piss me off is you would go, say you're young, right? You're a probationary firefighter more than likely in your 20s or whatever the case is. Maybe you're 21 to whatever, and you decide you want to go hang out with your buddies at the bar. Don't wear a firefighter shirt, especially not your department shirt. You make every firefighter look stupid. You see old Bill over there, oh yeah, that new probationary firefighter guy, he's over there getting hammered with his buddies, and then he just jumped in his truck and decided to go drive. It doesn't make Bill look bad. It makes every firefighter in the United States look bad. It's just like if one dumb cop that does something stupid makes every other cop look stupid. So it's like, don't do that. Don't represent, especially your department, in a bad manner like that. You may be out there thinking it's going to help you hook up with chicks or guys, depending on what sex you are. There's better ways to do it than that. All right? Use your smarts when it comes to that. Especially when you may have a couple of your compadres that work at the second station. You know, maybe they're in that same bar for the day, and they're going to beat your ass. I can tell you that much. It's not going to be pretty. It won't be pretty. Stations, they condone, some stations, you know, they'll go out afterwards, after their shift or whatever. Oh no, what happened? It looks like an error occurred. Please try again later. I don't know if I'm still alive or not. Let me see. Yeah, I'm still alive. Okay, so mine took a crap for some reason. But yeah, you know, be respectful of your department. Don't go out doing that kind of stuff. You know, and if you see somebody, I used to tell other firefighters, or most of them want to be firefighters for the most part. You know, they get a shirt from their buddy, like, and they go out, try to, you know, pull some tail, as they call it. But it doesn't look good. Does not look good. So, anybody have any questions before I get out of here? Let's see. We got, who wants to die being old when you can be a hero? What's up, Mr. Tommy Boy 9? Go back out here. Partisan Gorilla. That's what I'm hoping for, Mr. Tommy Boy. A 65-year-old can rescue somebody in a burning building, and if I don't make it, oh well, it was your time to go. Yeah, but we don't want that to happen, my friend. More noble way to go than a nursing home, right? Yeah, that's true. Who wants to die being old when you can be a hero? True. Why is being colorblind funny? I don't think it is funny. It's a dangerous thing, actually, especially like my example I used. I think it's funny because some people they don't understand that it's that important, I think is what I was getting at. I used to work on the 19th floor of our city county government building, and they had signs up everywhere that read, "In case of fire, follow Jeff." They knew I wasn't waiting at the top of the stairs. That's something for you guys to know, and it's not even on probationary firefighter stuff, but if you have the ability, say you want to get a hotel room for the night or something, you know, 3rd floor, 4th floor, and down's the best. You're not getting the view per se, but like if you're on the 12th floor, 7 at the most, depending on where you are, unless you're in China, they got some crazy ladder trucks. But you're not going to get reached from depending on how far the building is away from the sidewalk, you're not going to get to the, if you're on the 8th through the 100th floor, you're not going to get rescued by a ladder truck. And most of that is internal through the stairways anyways, so it's not that big of a deal. But just food for thought. If there is a fire in a high-rise building, it's going to be the floor that the fire's on, and one above, one below. So that's something to think about. So your alarm may go off, and you open the door. A lot of people just go back to bed, but the noise will bug them. But the floor may be one floor above you, or the fire may be one floor above you. So something to think about when you're out there. Always know how to get out of the building without using the elevator, because it's going to recall, and you will not have an elevator waiting for you. So figure out where the stairwells are, or bring a parachute. I wasn't here long, Rick, but good show. Gotta go. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate you showing up. I'm gonna blast us out of here in a second anyways. Appreciate you guys, Partesian Gorilla, Mr. Tommy Boy 9, Gimp Geek. I don't know who else is out there. Fuzzy to you. So weird saying it twice. Let's see. Looks like most of you guys are the same chatters. There's a couple up here. Oh, Tyler East. Thanks, my friend. I think that's it. But I'm hoping this helps people out. That's the reason for doing all this crap. I think I'm basically going from video 1 and however many it ends up being to help these people out, depending on what kind of call volume, not call volume, sound like fire, I'm on duty right now. Depending on how many people actually enjoy watching the videos and commenting, will definitely help on whether I keep or not. So it's just up to that. Unfortunately for you guys that are my friends that are on here that like the guns, gear, prepping kind of stuff, the last 3 videos I think I put out are all on firefighting stuff. Actually, the 4 videos I put out are on firefighting stuff, so I do apologize for that. Pretty soon they'll be just in their own little file, and people can click on them. So you got some growing pains hanging out with me, which I appreciate you guys doing. Oh, Midwest Misfits out there, appreciate that. But that's it for tonight. We are going to wrap this up, trying to keep it around 1 hour, and we are at 52 minutes, so that's about perfect. So you guys, I appreciate everything you did. Appreciate you showing up, commenting, liking, all that kind of stuff. We got 2 thumbs ups right now, which could be better. Oh, Captain Pizza's out here. How you doing, buddy? We're just getting ready to end the show. Is this ending? Just got here. Yeah, sorry, my friend. But there'll be another one, and I appreciate you showing up to that one as well. So you guys enjoy. Have a good time. I'm going to say goodbye in the comment section. Maybe, if it'll let me. Goodbye. So you guys have a great one. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and click that and subscribe. Appreciate it. But I enjoyed tonight. Hopefully you guys did too. Lots to learn. Oh, we got Stolo Nation Warriors in the house. Quietly watching. Very good info. Was in a fire and just about did not make it out. Wow, that sucks. So having your fire extinguishers, your smoke detectors, and all that kind of stuff definitely is. There's a reason to have all that shit in your house. It's not just because you should, but it's because it may save you one day. So you guys are awesome. I appreciate it. Stolo Nation Warrior, if you want to get a chance, click on my thing so you can see the next videos coming up. I'd appreciate it. But I enjoyed it. So thanks again, guys. Have a good day. Let me click this thing off.